Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You guys genuinely just got clickbaited because this is gonna be like 30 minutes of me talking about how I got my girlfriend. And if you learned something from it, great, cool, awesome. Hopefully there is something to learn because I have no clue how I got here. So yeah, let's go. So we begin our tale at a bus stop in 2022. This was the year like I went back into school after having been in like lockdown because of COVID. So there was this guy, a friend of mine, who I severely annoyed, and I sincerely apologize for annoying. Um, he had a friend, right? Who, let's say her name is Kuro, right? Because she's half Japanese, and if you know Japanese, you know what Kuro means. That's an inside joke for us, all right? But yeah, anyway, so he's known her since like grade two, since when she came to Canada from Japan. Oh my goodness, I feel like Rick from Rick and Morty. I'm burping so much today. Yeah, so me and him take the same bus going home, right? This is grade 10. And he introduces me to her. Hey, this is Kuro. And I'm like, hi. And yep, that's the end of the initial conversation. That is the very first time I met my girlfriend. And the reason why that's the end of the conversation is because I was so unbelievably shy at the time that I didn't even look at her. I literally just stared at my feet until the bus showed up, and then said bye when she got off. That's like it. Like I didn't yeah. You're gonna see a lot more of me being an idiot as this story goes on. So yeah, fast forward to grade 11, I fail physics. I promise you that's relevant. Um, Physics 11 is quite possibly the worst class in high school. Like, oh, I hate it with a passion. I hate physics with a passion. I'm so unbelievably garbage at it that it's astounding to me that like I even got 38%. That's how bad I was. I got 38% after a final test that was worth like 25% of the grade. Yeah, I wasn't even close to passing. So obviously if I if that was it, I would still be in high school because I wouldn't have been able to graduate. I wouldn't have been allowed to because I didn't have the courses complete. So what I had to end up doing was take another course from grade 11, either science or math, to fill in that missing credits, right? And I ended up taking a science class. And Kuro is a year younger than me, like little yet less than oh my good lord, a little less than a year younger than me. And she was there. She was in the class, and I recognized her. First day in September 2024, I was like, "Oh my goodness, it's her. It's the girl from the bus that I didn't talk to. Cool." And then I really wanted to go over and like chat with her and like like chill, but there were no available seats. Um, so I kind of just ended up sitting on the opposite end of the classroom that day, which I mean I still kind of find funny. Hang on, let me kill this guy. One sec. There we go.
Hello, mother.
Anyway, yeah. So what the? Oh my good lord, I'm so bad at this game. Please, bro. Please, just leave me alone, man. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Yeah, you can't escape now. Oh shoot, I opened the chest. Oh my goodness, what's happening? Stop. Remember, lower is better. Lower is better. Oh my goodness, if I somehow win this, I'm genuine. This is like insane. I don't know how, but if I win this, this is genuinely crazy. No, I'm gonna lose. Yeah, I'm dead. What? I was the last guy. Okay. Anyway, yeah, grade 11 took the class. She was on the opposite end of the classroom, and then like later in the week, I end up becoming friends with some of her friends because we all realized we had the same flex block. And yeah, so I started chatting with her there as well, and then I ended up moving not next to her, but like nearby to her. And she's like in front of me at this point. I'm like sitting sideways, and she's like right in front of me. Then she asked me this question sometime around late September. She goes, "Hey, do you play COD Mobile?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I've recently like got back into it." And she was like, "Hey, you want to play a match?" So I was like, "Yeah, bet. Send me your COD info, and we'll hop on later tonight." And hop on later that night we did. I'll put some photos up on the screen right now because I took a couple screenshots from that night of our very first few games together. And yeah, like we hit it off. We were we were great. What's it called? Chemistry was great. And I didn't do anything with it because I didn't like her at the time. Not like that anyway. I liked her as a friend, but I didn't like her as like I wanted to be my girlfriend, right? So then we're friends now. We start hanging out like outside of school too. So there's this park that was near her house, where we hung out a little bit, and there's a pond there, which is really nice and it's really cute. And we found this like more secluded section of the pond where, hang on, I gotta burp again. Oh my goodness, Morty. Anyway, yeah, so we found this like more secluded section of the pond, which is nice because we wouldn't have to deal with people, right? And we're both kind of similar in that way where we don't really want to deal with people when we're in the mood to just like chill with like friends. Are we dead? So we were there chilling. We chilled in that park. We went to the mall once. Yeah, like and also I am a part of this church group for teens in my church. And I invited her to the group, and she became like the heart and soul of the group. Oh my goodness, they all love her, which is like awesome to me. And she doesn't understand why, but sometimes you don't have to understand things. You just got to accept that they've happened, which I feel like that's a pretty good philosophy to have for like anything in life. But yeah, so point being, we saw each other pretty much every day, except for Sundays, because Sundays was like the one day where we were both busy doing something, or just we couldn't meet for whatever reason. So yeah, because we're hanging out a lot, especially at the pond, we would have these really like deep conversations, right, about like stuff that was bothering us, like mental health, whatever however you want to put it. And we really bonded over that because we kind of had very similar like dramas. So yeah, trauma bonding. Let's go. But like, so what ends up happening is, we keep playing COD, we keep doing Discord. I think our record for Discord calls, even to this day, is 15 hours because we'd like sleep on call. Yeah, don't ask. It's relevant later. Okay. Oh, Clampiers, hi. Yeah, so Christmas 2024 comes around, right? It's like we're a couple months in, we're close to each other, we're good friends, and our teacher decides, hey, for Christmas, I'm gonna let you guys watch The Polar Express, which, oh my goodness, I need to make a whole other like Skywars Thoughts video about this. The Polar Express is probably the like my favorite Christmas movie of all time. It's Oh my goodness, the drift scene. I'm gonna post a video from that exact class when it happened. I'm gonna post a video like right here on the screen right now. You'll see it. Oh my goodness, that drift scene is so good. I swear, if that video's not still on my phone, I'm gonna be so upset. Anyway, but during that movie, Kuro this is now, she decides, I don't know if it was during the movie or like before the movie or like during the week of the movie. I'm not exactly sure. It's been a while, but I know that at the movie she had switched from sitting in front of me to sitting directly beside me. Voluntarily, I didn't ask her to do that. She just did. And well, we hang on, I'm being chased. We were she took her pencil case, right? And she put it on my arm because my arm was outstretched because I was like resting my arm. She put it on my arm and then she put her head on it. So she was effectively lying down on my arm in the middle of class while watching a movie, just with some extra padding, which was the phone case. And obviously, I didn't think too much of it, but I was like, okay, that's a little bit of a sign. There might be something else going on there. But then I also told myself to shut up, and I was imagining things. So, take that how you will. Yeah, so that was like one of the first few signs from her that she liked me more than a friend. And I didn't know that until we got together later on, and I told her like, "Hey, like what was that all about?" Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at this game. But yeah, so Christmas is over. Fast forward, we get to February 2025, right? And I was on a New York retreat. I was on a Catholic retreat in New York, with a bunch of the other leaders from the teen group that I mentioned. And it was really fun, honestly. We were there for 5 days. The retreat was 3 days long, so we had like a full day to explore New York. Oh my goodness, the city's so nice. There's a lot of construction and like potholes, and the ground's kind of bad, but like it's New York. It's the greatest city in the world. It's like Hamilton, right? But then when we were there, there was something just felt off, right? It was like something was missing. And I couldn't for the life of me figure out what it was until like the fourth day of the trip, like one day away from going home. It was when I realized that the reason why I felt like something was missing was because something was missing, and it was her. It was Kuro, because she and I, we talked every day, and because I was at a retreat, I couldn't have my phone. I couldn't talk with her. I was in a whole other country, so I was, yeah, like I was on my own. I wasn't with her for the first time in months, and there was a part of me that was like, I don't like that. Like I like when she's with me. I like when I'm there with her. I like when I'm in her presence, right? Because I realized that my life was so much better when she was in it.
Editor Ignis here. The exact phrase that I used back then when I was explaining, all of this to Kuro was that I felt like my life would not be complete without her presence in it. So yeah, yay!
It and my like yeah. What? Okay. All right. Way to ruin an emotional moment, guy. So yeah, that was when I realized I liked her, and liked her in a way that I hadn't liked anyone else before. And I was like, okay, what am I gonna do with this information? Absolutely nothing. Like absolutely nothing. And like it was funny because I remember before I went on the trip, was texting with her. I'll put the screenshot up now. I was talking about these sunglasses I had. I'll put those up too. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna bring these to New York. And she was like, why? And I was like, to look snazzy. And she was like, who the says snazzy? And when I was in New York, the memory of that like was so like funny to me that I remembered it so clearly. And I remember how hard I laughed when when that happened. And I realized I like really missed her. And when I did see her again when I got back, oh my goodness, I was so happy. And yeah, so I proceeded to not do anything about liking her. I literally did nothing. Like I basically just existed and kept talking with her, kept going on Discord calls with her, kept playing COD, started playing Minecraft with her. And I was like, like this is not like I'm not going to push it. I'm not going to push For did this guy just? There's no way. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna try and push for something that I don't even know is there because I don't know if she likes me back, and I didn't want to lose her, so I just didn't do anything. And then as we continued, to chill together, we started acting like in a way that was more than what the. We started acting in a way that was more than friends. Like, okay, yeah, I need to get out of here. Yeah, we started act. Yeah. Anyway, hang on. Yeah, get hit, buddy. No, no, please, no, no. Ah. Okay. All right. Well, clearly, I've gotten a lot rustier at this game. Anyway, so yeah, we start acting like not like just friends. We start, hugging. We start. I think the right term would be cuddling. We start holding hands. And like at this point we're like firmly in a situationship, and I just like I'm like, yeah, that's something friends do, right? Like like friends cuddle, like, especially friends who are of the opposite gender and one of them clearly likes the other person because I don't know how to disguise my emotions. Anyway, yeah, so we start acting more like that. And then one day we're this is after church. We're on our way back to her house. I'm dropping her off. We had just been at the park, kind of chilling until it got dark. It was like 10 p.m. And then I I talked to her. Oh my goodness. Anyway, sorry, somebody called me.
Yes, that is my ringtone.
I was yeah, we were on our way home, and then she randomly just turns to me and she goes, "Don't expect this to last." And my heart sank because I wanted it to last, and I don't know if this next part is like sweet or corny or whatever, but I told her, I was like, well, what if it doesn't have to end though? And she was like, what do you mean by that? And I was like, all right, let's have a talk. So we went to this like tree with a bench on it that we now call the fumble tree, in her old complex, because it's where I almost fumbled her. And then we talked, and I confessed. I was like, yeah, I like you. Like, there's no beating around the bush anymore. Like, I like you. I don't know, like, how to do this. I don't know what this is, but I know that I like you, and I want to be in a relationship with you.
I also want to point out the fact that she noticed how shaky my hands were because of how scared I was, and then commented on it, and then we started laughing about it because, dude, my hands were like they were like vibrating. Like I was so scared. Like it was so funny.
And she told me that night, she was like, I need time to think. And I was like, all right, sure, I'll give you time to think. That's fine. That's fair. And then the next day, she goes, hey, do you want to go out? And I was like, yo, I was like, bet. I was like, wait. So, like, maybe she's already made a decision. So I was super happy, right? I take her to this park where there's like a nice flower garden because I know she's half Japanese. She misses Japan, and there's like a Japanese section. So I take her to that section. And there's like a bench there under the gazebo. That's like a cool, like, Japanese, like, design. Anyway, we have a talk there, right? I'm not gonna disclose what we talked about, but we basically like talked about like our different reasonings for like, oh, why would we want to be in a relationship? Why would we not want to be in one? Because for me, okay, yeah, that one's my bad. For me, oh, whoops. For me, she's my first. Like, she's my first girlfriend. She's my first like person I've liked in that way. So I have no clue what I'm doing. I don't even know if I'd be good at being a boyfriend. And then for her, all I'll say is that removing this part because I feel like it's a little too much detail and I want to preserve her privacy. So yeah, stuff happens, right? Not everyone's the right person for you. So there's stuff that both of us don't really know about. But she basically says, hey, pick a date after you graduate, pick a date, and I'll give you my answer then. And at this point, it was May. It was the end of May, so it was 3 weeks until I graduated. So in my head, I was like, all right, I can wait 3 weeks for her to get an answer because I'm willing to wait. And then Yeah, so graduation comes along. She recorded my graduation actually. She took a video of like the online, and it was really I was really sweet of her. Cause I really wanted that video, and I still have it actually on my phone. But yeah, so the next day, the immediate next day, I take her to the pond, right? The pond where we got close, the place where we had our very first deep connection, deep talk. And I start talking about how, hey, I really want this to be like you and me, blah, blah, blah. And just some other corny, stuff that I probably said. I don't know. But the funny thing is, if I don't mention this next part, she's going to call me out for it. But there were these, this is going to sound racist, but there were these Mexican people that showed up being super loud, blasting music right as I was getting to like the emotional part. And I also had a church meeting for the church group that I was a part of in like 15 minutes. And the walk there is like 15 minutes. So I was like, if I don't do this now, I'm not going to get to. And I was like super like stressed about it. And she was like, hey, just do it. All right. And those three words like shut down everything else that was happening around me. It just became me and her. And then I asked her, I said, will you be my girlfriend? And she said, yeah. She said, yes. I'm so oh my goodness. That's like, I still don't understand how me and her like ended up here, but we did. There's no way. Yeah, okay, it's wraps. That's yeah, we're not playing Skywars anymore. Um, but like, oh my goodness, it was probably who is that? It was probably like one of the happiest moments of my life. Like at that point of my life was her saying yes to being my girlfriend. And to this day, oh my goodness, I'm so grateful for her. I'm so grateful for like this whole journey we've been on. We've been together like almost a year and 2 months now. And like if you know me in real life, you'll know that I've been so much happier. Because like when you find the right person for you, that happiness you get, even if you're having a hard time, right? Even if you're going through a lot, even if like the relationship is like, you're having like a rough spot in your relationship, which everyone has. And that's part of a healthy relationship is you're going to have rough spots. But the important thing is you remember that you love one another. You start with that. You remember that you love one another and that you want this to work. And if it doesn't work, talk about it. Just talk, right? You talk things out. That's what matters. And to me, like, I'm so grateful to God for the fact that I even have a girlfriend because there were so many times in our childhoods where me and her should have met. Oh my goodness, I could make a whole other video about all the times where we should have met. Like there was one time at the church where it was like the same, like the teen group that we have right now that I'm helping lead. It was like that, but for younger kids. It was like the original version of that. And me and her went and we sat next to each other with friends that I actively played with at that event. And we didn't meet. And there were so many times like that. There were so many things like that where it was like, how did we not meet? Right? And in my eyes, what I see it as is God chose to keep us apart until he knew that we would be ready for each other. And for that, like his timing is everything. That is something that I will firmly stand by for the rest of my life. The fact that he kept us apart until we were ready to be together. And, if you're Christian, whatever, whatever you are, but if there's a girl or a guy in your life, right? Who is talking to me? If there's a girl or if there's a guy in your life, right, who wants to be, who you want to be your girlfriend or your boyfriend, then just pray to God, ask him for, the right guidance to do what you need to do. And if it's part of his will, it's gonna happen. Because I don't know if you know this. You probably don't, because you've never seen my face. But like, I'm not that good looking. I am like average at best. Okay. So the fact that I have a girlfriend who's as good looking as she is, because she's half Japanese, like, oh my goodness, like, I wish I could show a picture, but like, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, like, there's a Bible verse, right? Matthew 17:20. If you have faith, even as small as that of a mustard seed, you could tell a mountain to move from here to there, and it would move, for nothing will be impossible to you. All it takes is a little bit of faith, a little bit of trust in God, and whatever the plan is, whatever his plan is going to happen. You understand me? All right, good. I don't really know how to end this video, so yippee, I have a girlfriend, yippee!